Your brain keeps a highlight reel of every awkward thing you've ever done. Rachel is trying to fall asleep. It's been a perfectly normal day. Nothing bad happened. But her brain suddenly decides to replay that thing she said in a meeting 3 years ago. That joke that landed wrong, the silence that followed, the way everyone looked at her. And now she's wide awake, cringing so hard she wants to disappear into her mattress. She thinks, why am I like this? Why can't I just forget it? But her brain won't let her. It keeps hitting replay. Here's what's actually going on. Your brain has a negativity bias. It's wired to remember bad things more vividly than good things. And embarrassing moments hit a very specific nerve. They register as social threats. And social threats are survival threats. Think about it this way. Thousands of years ago, being rejected meant death. If the tribe kicked you out, you were alone. No protection, no resources. So your brain developed this incredibly sensitive alarm system for anything that might damage your social standing. And that alarm is still running, even though getting laughed at and in a meeting won't actually kill you. But your brain doesn't know that. It just knows that something happened that made you look bad. Made people see you differently. And it files that moment away in a special category marked danger. Not to punish you, but to make sure you never do it again. So it brings it back up at random times, when you're trying to relax, when you're about to fall asleep, when you're in the shower. Your brain is essentially making you review the tape, forcing you to analyze what went wrong, so you can avoid it in the future. It thinks it's helping you, but mostly it's just torturing you. And here's the thing, you probably don't remember most of the good moments with the same clarity. That time you made everyone laugh on purpose, that compliment someone gave you, that thing you did well, those fade. They blur together. But the embarrassing stuff, crystal clear. You can remember what you were wearing, where you were standing, the exact expression on someone's face. That's not an accident. Your brain prioritizes negative memories because they feel more important, more urgent. It's like how you remember touching a hot stove more vividly than all the times you successfully didn't touch a hot stove. Pain is louder than pleasure. Mistakes are louder than successes. And embarrassment is one of the loudest feelings there is. What makes it worse is that embarrassment involves other people. It's not just that you messed up, it's that someone saw you mess up. And now you're wondering what they think, what they remember, whether they tell other people about it. Your brain spins out into all these scenarios, all these possibilities, and each one reinforces the memory, makes it stronger, harder to forget. But here's what most people don't realize. Other people in that moment, they probably don't remember it the way you do. They might remember it at all, because it wasn't their embarrassing moment. It was yours, and your brain is the only one treating it like a catastrophe. Everyone else moved on almost immediately. They went back to their lives, their own worries, their own embarrassing moments that they're replaying in their heads. But you're still stuck on that one thing, because to you it felt huge. To them, it was barely a blip. There's also something called the spotlight effect, where you think everyone is paying way more attention to you than they actually are. You walk into a room and you're convinced everyone is looking at you, judging you, noticing everything you do. But the reality is, most people are too worried about how they look to spend much time thinking about you. So when you do something embarrassing, you feel like the whole world saw it, like it's this major event that everyone will remember forever. But in reality, most people didn't even notice. Or if they did notice, they forgot about it 5 minutes later. Because they have their own stuff to think about, their own insecurities, their own spiral. But your brain doesn't care about that logic. It just keeps replaying the moment. Because the feeling was so intense, Embarrassment activates the same parts of your brain. It's physical pain. It actually hurts. And pain gets remembered. Because pain is your brain's way of saying, don't do this again. The problem is, sometimes the being punished for wasn't even that bad. You said something slightly awkward. You stumbled over a word. You laughed at the wrong time. Small, normal human things. But because you felt embarrassed, your brain coded it as significant. As something to avoid. And now, it won't let you forget. And the more you think about it, the worse it gets. Because every time you replay the memory, you're reinforcing it. You're telling your brain, yes, this is important. Keep this one. It's like highlighting a sentence in a book. The more you highlight it, the more it stands out, the easier it is to find later. So you end up in this loop. The memory pops up. You cringe. You try to push it away. But pushing it away just makes you think about it more. And thinking about it more makes it stick harder. And before you know it, you've spent 20 minutes reliving something that lasted 5 seconds. And you feel exhausted and embarrassed all over again. There's also this weird thing where the embarrassing memories get distorted over time. Your brain doesn't just remember what happened, it remembers how you felt about what happened. And feelings aren't facts. So the story gets worse in your head than it was in real life. You remember people laughing at you, but maybe they were just smiling. You remember total silence, but maybe it was just a brief pause. You remember everyone staring, but maybe it was just one person glancing over. Your brain takes the emotional truth and turns it into the literal truth. And then that's the version you're stuck with. And you can't always tell the difference because the memory feels so real, so vivid. You trust it. You think, I know what happened. I was there. But you weren't there as an objectiver. You were there as someone who was embarrassed. And embarrassment changes how you see things. It magnifies. It distorts. It makes everything feel worse than it was. This is why talking about embarrassing moments with someone who was there can be surprising. You bring it up still cringing. And they barely remember it. Or they remember it completely differently. And you realize your version of the story and their version don't even match. Because you were experiencing different things. You were drowning in embarrassment. They were just watching someone have a normal human moment. But even knowing that doesn't always help. Because the feeling is still there. The cringe is still real. And your brain is still convinced that this memory matters. That it's protecting you by keeping it fresh. By making sure you never forget. So what do? How do you live with a brain that won't let go of your most awkward moments? You stop fighting the memories. Stop trying to suppress them or pretend they didn't happen. Because resistance makes them stronger. The more you try not to think about something, the more you think about it. That's just how brains work. Instead, you let the memory come. You acknowledge it. Oh, their thing again. The meeting. The weird comment. Yeah, I remember. And you let it pass. You don't dive into it. You don't analyze it. You don't imagine what everyone must have thought. You just let it be there for a moment. And then you move on. Because the memory isn't the problem. The problem is the story you tell yourself about the memory. The story that says this moment defines you. That it proved something bad about you. That everyone still thinks about it. That you're fundamentally awkward or broken or wrong. But that story isn't true. You're not defined by your most embarrassing moments. You're not the sum of your mistakes. You're a whole person who's had thousands of interactions, most of which went fine. Many of which went great. Your brain isn't giving you a highlight reel of those. Because those don't feel urgent. Those don't feel like they need your attention. The embarrassing moments get airtime because your brain thinks they're important lessons. And maybe they are. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you adjusted. Maybe you're a little more careful now in certain situations. That's fine. That's useful. But you don't need to keep reviewing the tape. You got the lesson. You can let the memory fade, and it will fade eventually. Not because you forced it to, but because you stopped feeding it, you stopped giving it so much weight. You stopped treating it like it matters more than everything else you've ever done. And slowly, it loses power. It becomes just another thing that happened, not a defining moment. Just a moment. You're not alone in this. Everyone has a collection of memories they wish they could delete. Moments that make them want to crawl into a hole. That's not a flaw. That's not something to fix. That's just what it means to be human. To care what people think. To want to belong. To sum up in front of others and feel the sting of it. Your brain is doing what it's designed to do. Remembering the hard stuff so you can navigate the world more carefully. And that's okay. You don't have to like it. But you also don't have to let it run your life. The memories will come, and they'll go. And you'll keep moving forward, a little embarrassed maybe, but still here, still whole, still more in your worst moments.